1992 Lancia Delta Integrale Evo 1. This is the second Integrale that's featured on the WhiteDetails channel. The first, 5 years ago now, the dark blue Evo 2, which was a Japanese import with just 5,000 kilometers on the clock. The owner of the red car stumbled across this episode recently, and although their vehicle has been dry stored for the last 8 or 9 years, it's been put away, they do plan to now get the car out and start to use it. First registered in Germany back in February 1992. My client is the second owner of the car, and it was imported into the UK back in 1999. Current mileage is about 19,000, which for a vehicle that's over 30 years old now, extremely low of course, and it is a very clean, smart, mostly original example. Prior to receiving the car myself, the vehicle had been with Tank Barrett in Ludlow, who are a Lancia specialist. They held the car for a number of weeks to mechanically get the car back up and running to bring it out of hibernation. And now it's my turn to perform a multi-stage paint correction detail before leaving it protected for the years ahead. So that and more coming up in this episode of WhiteDetails. So first things first, for wash and decontamination. The wheels weren't booked for any special attention this time around, however the complexity, the design, the intricacy of the spokes, I'm going to take them off anyway. It's actually easier for me to clean them and more time efficient to clean them off the car, having access to the ramp of course inside too. So for now the car is just jacked up to gain access to the wheel arches to flush out 50 miles worth of test driving. Following the service and the mechanical restoration work from Tank Barrett, the car has been driven, it's been used on the test drive. So we'll get the arches and door shuts flushed and cleaned up, any stray tar deposits removed from the bodywork, and then we're going inside for the clay bar treatment. Flashbacks to 5 years ago. Oh, this is a fiddly car. I'm just reminding myself of a long list of retouched areas, reworked areas, possibly repainted. But on the most part, the car is original. There's just a few bits here and there to take note of. Customer's email. As you can see, the car is delightful already. It's a great example. Just 19,000 kilometers on the clock, but it has the potential to be magnificent. All that stands in the way is a flat, solid red, non-clear coated bodywork that's covered in swirls, scratches, and is very ledgy, edgy, lots of areas for 1 inch finger polishing, 3 inch tilting. Monza red in colour. Haze, scratches. I remember the scuttle up top here in the bonnet, there's just a lot of angles and lots of, you don't want to tilt too many edges, you don't want to put too much pressure on body lines. The car has been stored, dry stored, locked away, but now it's back, and the idea is mechanically the car's had a lot of work done by Tank Barrett, Lancia specialists, and the icing on the cake is going to be the polishing, detailing, finesse, tender loving care before the car heads home to the owner. Offside rear quarter here, there's a lot of deep marks. May not look like much, but actually there's a lot of horizontal movements across the wing here. Something's been dragged across there. You can see here as well on the shoulder as it rolls around. Hopefully the camera is picking that up. But of course, with that being a proud body line, and there's lots of damage there, the last thing we want to do is put too much on that and burn through the edge. If I can get this one to 70%, 80% defect removal, I'm happy. As I say, there's a few areas to be mindful of, a few areas of concern, which we'll pick up in the episode later on, I'm sure. But I think for now, the rest of the afternoon, I'll certainly make a start on. I'm going to start with the bumper. There's a lot of 1 inch work, lots of finger polishing, as I say, and there's going to be a lot of red dust. There's no clear coat, so this is just after a very quick test section on the top of the bumper lip. Must order a Monza red touch-up as well. A few areas where paint missing on the edges, light clusters and the grills removed, side repeaters removed. The wing is pretty rough. It's hard to pick up on camera because of the colour. Pretty scratched. Anyway, more updates to follow. For now, bit of Elvis Presley.
This is a pain in the bottom. Pretty steady work in progress for this one. It is going to be a bit of a test. Good to get stuck into a bit of a challenge. The near side rear door has responded a lot different to the near side front door. The near side rear door being the easier of the two, so that's had some rework somewhere. I keep revisiting the owner's list of retouched areas. There's a bit here on the leading edge, the offside front lower door. There's distortion here, and they know the car very well. So it's nice to have that history. It's a 92 car. It was imported from Germany in 99. And the owner has had the car ever since. We still get a lot of transfer red on the towels and of course the pads. Gonna get through a fair few pads this week, I'm sure. Some of the test refining sections I've done have been successful, and that's very key. That's very important at this stage going forward, because the more I work around the car, the more mess I'm leaving behind. It's just good to know in the back of your mind that you've got a resolution in place at the refining stage. So progress has been front bumper, near side, front wing, two doors, and I'm now on the rear quarter. There's some small, tiny original PPF sections down the rear, down the side skirts. There's a blob there, there's a blob here, there, which the owner has okayed to come off for this job, but it's been down there for probably 7 or 8 years that I've been interested, and something to be very careful of. Finish this around that side, doorway, save the rear bumper, tailgate, roof and bonnet for later in the week. I'm covered in red. I've got red dust all over me. Look at the floor down here. I think I've got a red nose. With the exception now of the side skirts and the vents on the rear quarter here, which still need attention, that is the sides of the Integrale complete. At first, I was messing about a lot with sort of Kosh Chemi, Angel Wax, various other compounds and polishes, and struggling. It's a soft single stage flat colour. It gets churned up, it gets damaged easily. You can see the state of the pads and the spurring bucket. But switching to Modesta's CO2, this stuff is expensive, but it's awesomely smooth and just the answer for this troublesome car. Now, the majority of this side I did without CO2, so there's perhaps some areas under light I want to revisit. So yeah, side skirts and these vent sections to follow, all the tailgate to complete. Whilst we're up here and the sunroof has been taped up in such fashion, I have cut it. I'm actually going to refine this and finalize the sunroof before untaping it, so I don't have to worry about that again later. Because underneath here is the black felt. So refine, strip it all off, buff it down, and actually tape internally to then start correcting the outside. Just spotted a good series of scratches here. There's lots of scratches heading that direction. 1, 2, 3. Something's perhaps been stored on the roof and dragged off. That one in particular. And there's some decent stretches here too, running that way. Such a tricky colour to try and photograph, but we're getting there. It's taken it's taken longer than most cars. It is only, of course, a hatchback, but it's very ledgy, it's very angular. And you think now for the rest of the roof, okay, great, it's nice and flat and open, but actually there's this tricky little 1-inch section down the sides. There's this ledge shelf at the back. There's the top of the tailgate itself, A-pillars, and of course the little ledge on the leading edge here, and that's not something you can tip into for me personally. I'm going to use a 5-inch to buzz up and down. I'm going to use a 3-inch to complete the perimeter. Break this into 3s, so 2 hits once, 2 hits twice, 2 hits 3 times, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then of course the wonderful scuttle. But that really does look pretty super. Emphasised and helped by the fact we're diffusing light off the Scan Grip D-Match there. That's adding a nice bit of gloss. Bit of a cheat, but yet to be refined. So overall, it's rather promising. Still battling the cutting stage, and it's these areas that are taking the time. The 5,000 kilometer import blue Lancia from Japan. We removed the spoiler at the time, but actually by myself, and I can actually access around that, so I've worked with that in situ. Top of the tailgate here, we obviously wanted to protect the leading edge of the roof as we put the 1 inch through here. So it's probably going to be one set, 2 or 3 cuts, 2 sets, 2 or 3 cuts, 3, 4, probably 5 individual sets across the top there before we come down. Mask the rubber, mask the bottom side of the support for the spoiler, and then finally progress down to the tailgate. Light clusters will be polished. The registration surround, whoa, no. That'll be polished as well. Do not fall down there. Thank you. So overall, we are getting somewhere, but there's just a lot of work still to do with the importance of the refining and the fact that I only started on CO2 compound on day 2, and actually I've worked down this side of the car with various alternative compounds and polishes, which, don't get me wrong, I've done the job, but I would like it to be one, to all be done as one. So on the final push now to the end, get it refined, think about some sort of protection, get it dressed, get the toothpickery done, and then get the touch-ups sorted. Rosso Monza. sitting at the table. Flip it out. And just like that, the Lancia is complete. It's still a satisfying feeling, I have to say. It's been an awfully long week, but it's always happy days seeing the end result. So that's now waiting on collection, heading back down south, following a multi-stage correction, paint correction. It wasn't a strict 2-stage, it wasn't a major correction. It was a minor, major, somewhere in the middle. Topped with Modesta's BC08, which is extra slick, extra glossy and deep on the flat colours. There was no interior work, there was no strict wheeled off work, although they came off to be cleansed, they weren't coated. There was no engine bay, no leather. So with all that said, it just leaves me to thank you for watching. Thank you for being here if you've made it through this far. Find WhiteDetails over on Instagram for daily behind the scenes and updates. All of next week's content will be on Instagram. I'm not filming next week, I don't think. I don't know when I am filming next, to be honest. And Japan is coming up as well. So there is a couple of weeks where I'm away, mid-March till April. I'm going to PlusCon, which is the Modesta event. If you would like more of this content and you're not already, do consider subscribing to the WhiteDetails YouTube channel. And for this episode in particular, it would mean a lot if you could consider liking the episode. Just before it closes, just before you leave, just click, tap, like, the thumbs up to help this video go further. It's taken it out of me this week. I'm knackered. Enjoy the after footage, and until next time, take care, and bye for now.